Welcome back to my channel, thanks for being here. Today I thought I'd just do a little walkthrough of my collection, see how some of my newest plants are doing and also do some propagation updates. So let's have a look what we can find. This is the Monstera cutting that I took about a month ago, so this is about a month's root growth, and I eventually plan to plant this one back in with the main plant to make a fuller plant. So this is the original plant that I took the cutting from, and just around here you can see you've got this bump with a cut above it, and this is where the new vine is growing from. This is my Syngonium white butterfly. It's growing really well at the moment. It's really started to kind of wrap around the pole that I put it on, and it's growing really nicely. I'm really glad that I chose to put a support pole on this one. This is one of my newest plants, and I've got this one just away from the windows so it doesn't get any direct sun, and it's growing really well. It's got new growth coming in, and I'm really enjoying having this one around. It's really pretty. I'm hoping at some point that this one will get some babies so that I can separate them and share the love, give them to family and friends. And over here on my bedside table is my variegated umbrella plant and my variegated peace lily. I've got those quite near to the window so that I can try and maintain that variegation. This is my zebra plant, and I keep this one in the bathroom where it can get some humidity. This one, as I explained in a previous video, it had a bit of a catastrophe in that I didn't water it in time and all the leaves fell off, but you can see it's starting to grow in this amazing, beautiful, lush growth, and it's really nice to see it just growing new leaves every day. These are some of my Syngonium propagations, cuttings that I took probably around 2 months ago now. So they've had 2 months to grow some roots, and they're looking really healthy, and these roots are just looking so good. I'm really pleased with how these are coming along. Syngoniums are so easy to propagate. You can see how easily they root, and I'd highly recommend propagating these plants if you like a easy plant to propagate. They grow so well. These are my rubber plant propagations, and this is about 1 month's growth so far, and this one is rooting really well. I eventually plan to put these cuttings back in with the mother plant to make a fuller plant, and you can see here on the original plant I've already got branches growing back where I cut. I had hoped to maybe get more than one branch, but it's nature, so sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. My philodendron pink princess is settling in really well. The latest leaf that I got from it is lovely. It's got some beautiful variegation, some lovely pink in it, so I'm really happy with that. And this plant is really exciting to watch grow because you never know how much variegation you're going to get in each leaf, and so every new leaf is exciting and different. I have a new leaf coming on my philodendron silver sword at the moment, which is really exciting. I have had a few issues with stuck leaves, but this one seems to be coming through okay, so fingers crossed. This is my Syngonium neon robusta, and I recently planted this one into potting mix out of water, so it's still in the adjustment phase at the moment where I'm keeping it moist, but probably in about another week's time or so I shall start treating it like a normal plant, and I will let it dry out between watering. This is another of my most recent additions, the neon pothos, and I'm just so in love with this plant at the moment. It's definitely going to be of my favourites this month. I love the colour difference on this one compared to a lot of my other plants. I really enjoy the colour, and I'm looking forward to it growing out a bit more so I can take some propagations and give those away, share the love. This is my Syngonium tricolour, and I'm pleased to say that this one has survived because I did get it from the clearance section and part of it did die off, but this section is doing just fine and a new leaf is coming through. It's not quite through yet and it's kind of been teetering on the edge of coming through for a while, but I did recently repot this, so considering it was in a little bit of distress before, I did expect it to take a little while to start growing again. But I've recently moved this one into a slightly higher light area. I started it off in a slightly lower light and then I've moved it into higher light just to kind of gradually adjust it and also to maintain that variegation. This is my Philodendron Brazil, and I've also moved this one over into a slightly higher light area too, just to try and kind of up the variegation on it because I really like the lime green colour. Also, it has started to climb the pole a bit. It's only been put onto the pole fairly recently, so it hasn't grown to the top yet, of course, but it's definitely made some progress and I'm really enjoying watching this one grow. Now that it's settled into its new pot, it has been growing really fast, as you can see. The vines are heading up, which is the direction we want them to go. And yeah, I'm just so excited to see this plant eventually get full and big and reach the top of the pole. I don't know if that will happen this season, but eventually it's going to happen. I'm really enjoying this plant right now. Another plant that I've moved into this window area is my Croton. This is the Croton Petra, and I've had this one a little while now, although I did repot it after I bought it, and it hasn't actually given me a new leaf yet, but there is sort of a little bud forming there that looks like it could be a new leaf coming, so hopefully it will start to put one out soon. But crotons really like a lot of light. They need light to keep that variegation they have in their leaves, to keep the colours. So I'm hoping this will be enough light for it. If the new leaf doesn't come through with enough variegation, then I can rethink where I have this one placed. I'm pleased to say my Dieffenbachia has also settled in really well, and this one is much quicker to get used to its new environment. It's really healthy and it's putting out new leaves. It's definitely got bigger since I got it, and yeah, this one is kind of the apple of my eye at the moment. It's one of my favourite plants. I absolutely love it. I'm pleased to say that my Philodendron Imperial Green has finally started putting out a new leaf. I did give this one a repot. It was quite root bound and it's gone through that adjustment period and it's now putting out a new leaf. So I'm so happy about that because I was starting to get a little bit worried. These are my Monstera adansonii cuttings, and I took these about a month ago, so this is about a month's worth of root growth. They're rooting really well, they seem really happy, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them grow some more and eventually potting them up into a new plant. These are some weeping fig cuttings, the Ficus benjamina, and these always root really well for me. Last year I also took some cuttings and those rooted just as well, and you can see in the jar there the roots are really starting to develop. We've got lots of growth and it shouldn't be too much longer now. I'm just waiting on some of them to catch up. One or two of them are a little bit behind,